Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel for a brand new video, and this is a little bit of a different one. We are here in the lovely Appaloosa Plains. I feel like I always say that about the EA worlds, but I genuinely love them all. They're my favorites, and I actually prefer them. I know this is probably really weird. I actually prefer them to custom worlds. There's just something about them. I don't know if it's nostalgia or whatever, but I'm going off on a tangent, so let's get back on track. About 2 weeks ago, I posted on the community tab that I was working on something that could possibly become a new series, and here we are. This has stemmed from a message that I got on one of my videos, and we're going to call this kind of a fixer-upper series. So this series won't be something that is regular. It's just if somebody contacts me and wants me to have a look at a build that they are currently playing in with a household, and I will fix it up. So how this all came about is on my interior top tips video, I got a message from LaBellaLuna921, who is also mamabearmumblr on Tumblr, and she said, hey, so I have this massive farmhouse that I plopped in Appaloosa Plains and renovated. I don't have any CC, but I have some store content. Unfortunately, it doesn't have many rooms available to cater to my household. Would you be open to working some plumdot magic and give it some new life and some plum love? I will gladly share some screenshots of the home and tell you about the household if it helps. And this was my response. Hey, my dear, shoot me a message on Twitter or Tumblr and I'll take a look. Can't promise that I'll be able to work magic, but I may be able to offer some advice. So, as I do with anything when I am renovating or decorating, I went over the top. But mamabearmumblr, LaBellaLuna921 was so patient with me, and I was firing messages back and forth. And finally, she just said, go for it. You've got full creative license on this. Do what you need to do. Surprise me. And so that is what I did. So before we pop in and take a look at this farmhouse, if any of you have a household that you're playing or a home that you're playing and you want me to show it some plum love, shoot me a message on Twitter or Tumblr and I will try to work my magic. So this is the Andrews family farmhouse, and it's on a 64 by 64 lot in Appaloosa Plains, which is across from the festival lot. It is massive. And when I first looked at this, I was like, oh my God. As you can see, the messages that mamabearmumblr and I sent back and forth, just went on for ages and ages. So here's what she told me about the family. I started with a sim by the name of Sue Andrews who got married to her boss while working the culinary career. After having mastered the culinary career and learning every recipe there was to offer, she and her husband Zach had a son they named Jack. Jack ended up falling in love with his high school sweetheart Monique, and after they got hitched on Snowflake Day, with the blessing of Jack's parents, they began their new life on the farm. Sue and Zach moved down the road to a smaller home as they were getting up in age and there was not much room for expansion. Monique and Jack started with triplets and then had twins soon after. While Monique spends her days tending the farm and taking care of the kids, Jack works at the local science facility. They have 2 cats named Lily and Casper and a horse named Dakota. So originally this just started as I was going to give mamabearmumblr some advice. And then I got to looking at this massive farmhouse and I was like, I could really show it some plum love. And so I got right stuck in. So I'm just going to take you on a little bit of a tour around the farm so you can see just this big area. And another thing that mamabearmumblr asked for me to do was, or she didn't ask for me to do this, but she said that at some point she was going to expand the farm and she was going to include an in-law suite. So I decided that I would build the in-law suite for Jack and Monique when they get up in age. Let's have a little tour around the farm. So here, as you can see, we've got some cows. Moo. And then if we come over here to the back corner, this is where the playground was started. And I actually expanded the playground. And then you can see in front of the playground, there's that patch of dirt. That's where I ended up putting the in-law suite. And then over here is where Dakota the horse will do all of their jumping and their horsey type stuff. So that is basically the layout of the farmhouse. It is huge, and it was just such a big task, but the more I got into it, the more I knew about the family. I just wanted to give them such a beautiful home. And then you can see to the right of the screen, that's where the barn is. I left everything in its place. I didn't move buildings, although I did move the actual farmhouse out from the edge of the lot. And I did expand upon the barn and built the in-law suite. And then I just landscaped away, and it all really came together. Now, what I didn't do on camera was the expansion that I did on the barn. I ended up adding another story to the barn that was kind of a bonus space for all of the kids. And I made a bunkhouse, and there's a laundry facility in there as well. Now, I did a lot of work off camera. I was having trouble with the stairs in this house and the roofing, of course, the landscaping, and so I didn't do those things on camera just because, again, it was a right faff. And so I did all of that work off camera. Had I done it on camera, this video would have been longer than it already is. And so the speed build portion, the decorating portion of this video is just the main house, but I will include screenshots of all of the other buildings and the overall of the lot once it is complete. So let's go ahead and have a look at the overviews. So this is the bottom floor of the farmhouse, the main farmhouse. And my original question to mamabearmumblr was, what are the areas that you are having trouble with? And she said, the main issue I'm having is having a decent layout that allows plenty of space in all of the bedrooms. And so, as you can see, I don't know if they were planning for multiples. So they had the triplets, which are teenagers at the moment, and then they had the twins. And so the twins have this tiny little space that is next to the dining room. And then there's a bathroom, and then there's the living room. The kitchen is on your left, and the dining room is kind of open when you walk into the house. And so my advice, and this is when I was still just giving advice and I wasn't actually going to touch the house, my advice was, let's go up a third floor because the roof is very, very tall. And so you could fit a third floor under there, put all the boys together, put all the girls in one room, and that should fix your issue. And then I got to looking at this level and I was like, can I open the kitchen? Can I do this? Can I do that? And that is when mamabearmumblr gave me the green light and she said, let's go. And I went for it. So this is the upper level as it stands now with the main bedroom, which has an ensuite. And then you've got a laundry nook. There's another sort of half bathroom. And then you've got a rumpus room. And then you had the triplets room. And there's already a staircase up to the third level. And so I didn't really have to mess with that. It was already in place, but I just absolutely ripped this apart and it's completely different. I've rambled my way into the evening, so before it gets completely dark, let's meet the family and then we're gonna jump into the speed build. Let's go. So this is the Andrews family, and they look pretty stoked that I'm about to do a massive renovation on their 64 by 64 lot farm. So let me introduce you to them individually, but before I take you through each family member, look at how minted they are. I mean, I had full reign. There was no budgetary problems whatsoever with this family. So the father of this brood is Jack Andrews. He's family oriented, a computer whiz, a bot fan. He loves the cold, he's a genius, and he is also irresistible. And look at all the lifetime rewards that he's got. And the reason Jack and Monique have so many kids and their multiples is because they both have the fertility treatment. So I did include a nursery in this renovation in case the two of them wanted to get down with the get down and have another set of multiples. And then his wife, Monique, she is family oriented, a natural cook, a hopeless romantic, nurturing, and she is friendly. And again, she has got some good lifetime rewards here. And then if we pop over to the first of the triplets, we have Paul Andrews, who you can tell he's adventurous. He loves the outdoors, he's a daredevil, and he is athletic. And then we go over to Kendra, who is artistic, ambitious, and equestrian, and she is a bit of a diva. And then this grumpy McGrumperson is Harold. He loves to swim. He's a vegetarian. You can tell that he's grumpy, and he is a cat person. And then over to the twins, we have got Darlene Andrews, who has a good sense of humor. She loves the outdoors and she loves the heat. And then her twin brother is called Charlie, and he loves the outdoors, bookworm, and he loves the cold. And so when I was doing the renovation for the family, I really did take into account all of their traits, their favorite colors, and what they like to do when I was decorating their specific rooms. And then if we look at the pets, we have got Lily Andrews, who is non-destructive. She's friendly and she's a bit of a ziggy piggy. And then we've got Casper, who is a piggy. He's friendly and he is a hunter. And then Dakota the horse. He is shy, agile, noisy, and he's a bit of a piggy as well. So I did make sure that there was lots of areas for the cats, lots of things in the barn, in the main house, and also in the in-law suite for them. And look, Jack Andrews has just earned 407 simoleons from his book royalties. And his book is called How to Impress the Press. So it's getting dark. I'm going to pop into the speed build and let's go. So for all of my blathering and my carrying on and my rambling, we are finally in the speed build portion of this speed build. And I hope you guys are cozy, that you got your snacks, because you are with me for another 35 minutes. So as you can see, we have started on the bottom level of the home, but this is not where I originally started. This was a crazy process. So originally I was just going to touch the kids' room. I was going to move the boys up to the 3rd level and the girls were going to share a room, and I was going to create a nursery. And then I started asking all these questions. Can I open this wall? Can I move things around? And like I said before, Mama Bear Mumbler said absolutely go for it. So as you can see, I am ripping the bottom level apart, and I have moved the bathroom over off the entranceway. I've created an entranceway. I've created a study area because originally the study was on the outside of the twins' room and the bathroom, kind of that area. So I've shoved all of that to the right of the lower level, and we've got now this open plan flowing L-shaped kitchen and dining and living room, and it all just comes together like a chef's kiss. It is a beautiful, but it took a long time to get to what you're seeing now. Originally, when I filmed everything, I think I had about 7 hours of footage. So for me to get it down to about 45 minutes, we're doing pretty darn good, but it just took so long to get to this point. But the end result is definitely worth it. So here's the kitchen, there's the study, there's the half bathroom, and there's the entryway, and it just all works really well. So you're gonna see a few different iterations of the floor as well. Originally I was going to stick with what you see now, which is what Mama Bear Mumbler had put down, and then I don't even know how we got on the subject of custom content. I think Mama Bear Mumbler said that I could use custom content, and I was like, oh, I don't really use custom content in my builds. But then I thought of cake noodles floors. So when we get to later on in the video, you will see that I have used some cake noodles floors. If you guys are CC users and you don't have those in your game, highly recommend that you put them in your game, because they are stunning, absolutely gorgeous. And then the only other CC that I used in this build was some windows by Mutsk. I'll put it on the screen because I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but it's spelled M-U-T-S-K-E, and they can be found on the Sims resource. And I've got windows that look very much like what came with Supernatural. So I replaced all of the windows, I replaced all of the doors, all of the archways, and yeah, it just really came together. So my idea for how I wanted this renovation to look is that I wanted it to be sort of a renovated, updated, modern farmhouse. and I believe that I achieved it. So you can see now I've got the cake noodles flooring down, and what I'm creating here is kind of a window seat. I end up getting rid of the arch that you see there, and I flank the window seat with columns, and that just worked a lot better. It is usable. I have play tested this with the quintet, so Mama Bear Mumblr's cats or members of the family can actually go and sit in that little area, and you'll see the difference when we get to the recoloring portion. So I changed out the chairs, and when we get to the recoloring portion, those are actually going to be black, and I mixed a lot of wood tones, black, dark colors, but also there's a lot of light wall coverings as well, and it just brings the space together cohesively. So I had so much fun doing this farmhouse, so much so that I'm thinking that maybe I want to build my own farmhouse and cover it in snow, because I love the snow in The Sims 3, and so I may do like a Christmassy farmhouse. Now, whether or not that will come out before Christmas, your guess is as good as mine, and I say that because this is going up in 4 days time, which is on Saturday the 17th, and by that time, when this video goes up, I will be up in the air on an airplane and headed towards a very, very hot part of the world. And I'm a little bit nervous, if I'm honest with you guys, because I have never spent Christmas in a part of the world that is warm. I always said when I was growing up and when I was in sort of my early 20s that if I was going to celebrate Christmas, I needed to be home. So home for me is the Pacific Northwest. I obviously now live in England, so that's my home as well. But when I was growing up, I always said, we can't travel during Christmas because I need to be at home. So there was always a chance of snow. There's definitely a chance of rain in the Pacific Northwest. And to me, that gives cozy Christmas vibes. So spending Christmas somewhere where it's going to be warm is going to be really different for me. But I'm really looking forward to it because I'm going to spend Christmas with my mom and dad. And I haven't spent Christmas with my mom and dad in 6 years. And I've lived in England for 10 years. And I didn't go home for a Christmas until I'd lived here for 4 years. So it's a very rare occurrence, and I'm very, very much looking forward to it. I cannot wait. But I've been a little jet setter recently. So before the Shell video came out, the CJ Plays Shell that I did, which was my last video, I had just been to Portugal. And again, I've lived in the UK for 10 years, and that was the first time that I had ever visited somewhere in Europe. And it was beautiful. Portugal is a stunning country, and it was nice and warm, which was lovely. A lot of people said, ooh, the weather's going to be a little bit iffy because it's November, but it was just perfect. And I really, really loved Portugal, and I would love to go back. But yeah, I had the best time. So yeah, I was on my jollies then, and now I am shortly going on my jollies again. So it's all exciting, and I'm starting to feel really Christmassy and cozy and like 'tis the season and holiday mode activated, because it took me a while to get into the mood this year. I think I peaked a little bit too early, and I did the same thing last year, but I kid you not, I started listening to Christmas music in October, and so I had a good solid week where I was like, Christmas music makes me happy, I'm gonna jam out to Christmas music while I'm working, and I definitely peaked too early. So then I revisited it again in November and starting to get in the Christmas mood, but I'm fully there now. I did all my Christmas shopping Saturday, just gone, and I did all my wrapping on the Sunday, which it took me about 5 hours to wrap all of the presents, but they're all done. They're all under the relevant stockings, because didn't get a Christmas tree this year. Maybe that's one of the reasons it's taken me a while to get in the Christmas spirit. I didn't get a Christmas tree this year just because I wasn't going to be home to enjoy it. So I thought, what was the point? But all the presents are under the stockings. And yeah, I'm fully ready for Santa Claus to come to town And yeah, I can't wait. So let me know down below in the comments, what are your guys' plans for the holiday season? Obviously, it doesn't have to be Christmas, whatever holiday you celebrate around this time of year. Let me know down below what you will be getting up to. Are you going to spend it with family? Are you going to spend it with friends? And let me know of any traditions that you guys celebrate around this time of year. New traditions, old traditions, family traditions, any traditions. Let me know down below. I just want to know how you guys have been. I know that my videos have been quite sporadic, which I did say when I put out my very first video of 2022 that, I wasn't going to upload on a schedule, but I am really enjoying making videos again, and sort of the as and when I can get them up, that really works for me. But I do really love it, and I have so many ideas for the upcoming year. I really want to do another Vagrant Townie makeover. I also want to put out that video about the seasonal lot marker on residential lots. I want to do some more challenges. I've been watching a lot of CJ Plays' channel, and he's got some really fun challenges that he's come up with, like little short challenges, and I may attempt some of those. I really want to build a farmhouse. Like I said, I want to continue on with Let's Renovate Sunset Valley, and maybe revisit Riverview. I want to build some more starters. I want to do some Sims 4. So I've got all these ideas swirling around, and so I'm hoping that 2023 is going to be the best plumdot year ever. But we shall see how things shape up. But I have rambled my way all the way upstairs now. Everything downstairs is laid out. Like I said, we've got cake noodles, beautiful floors down. These will change again. I did find a better swatch that worked really well with this sort of farmhousey vibe that I was going for, and we are in the nursery. So I don't know if you noticed just a minute ago, I took Jeffrey the giraffe and I placed him under the bookshelf. Anytime you see me place anything within another object, it's because I'm going to use Debug Enabler, which is part of the NRAS suite, the NRAAS suite, and I'm going to lift and shift whatever object it is onto another object. But doing that on camera, again, the pressure would just make me break out in hives. But it's really fiddly and it's trial and error, so I just didn't think that anybody would want to watch me lift something up 0.2, whatever the measure is, and then lift it down 0.5 when I've got it too high. So I do all of that stuff sort of off camera. Like I said in the shell video, I've started to do my videos where I'm laying down major items like beds, and then I'm leaving more of the detailed things to do off camera, and then when I go to recolor, you will see that everything is placed down. Now I filmed the shell video I filmed the shell video after I had filmed this video. So this, you can still see me pulling out details here and there, but I'm going to try to just put down the bulky items and then the detailed items off camera, because it's a lot of me scrolling through the catalog trying to find what works the best. Now, the great thing about this sort of renovation series that I want to do is that a lot of the items will already be in the house, and I will try my best to reuse the items that are in the house, because I think there's something really special and also really different from renovating EA homes. So when you've got EA homes, they don't make the best design choices, and I still maintain that the EA homes are meant to be intentionally not attractive so people will go in and renovate them. When you're doing somebody else's home, they've put a lot of love and effort into that, so there's a fine balance of trying to get to reuse the items that they've got already down, but then also meld it with some new items and put items in a way that they wouldn't necessarily think of. So that's kind of my aim when I'm doing this series, and I'm putting series in quotes because who knows how long this thing is going to last. But I just think it would be something fun to do on the channel. So I think I'm gonna call it sort of Plum Fix Me Up, and it'll be different from my What the Plum series, which I do want to do another What the Plum, because I've got a few builds that are still just like eek. I built these way back in the day and they are hideous. So I feel like I can rip apart my own builds and actually roast them, whereas with your guys' builds, I would never do that. I just want to improve upon what you guys already have if you want me to do that. So back downstairs now. And we are doing the recoloring portion. You can see that the floors have changed. I thought these floors were a bit more rustic than the other floors, and the other floors had a lot of red in it, whereas this is kind of a lighter brown tone, which I think works well because you can see there's a lot of white on the walls, but then there's also, you've got a sneak peek by the dining room, and it's a really, really, really dark blue. So there's a lot of contrast in the not the decoration, but in the wall coverings that I've chosen, but I think it all works really, really well. It's really cohesive. It's come together. This was a labor of love, and I'm so thankful that mamabearmumblr trusted me to expand upon what she had already done to the renovation, and I just had so much fun. So I really love this kitchen. I like the green color, and I'm really into black matte handles and finishes at the moment. So that's in all the bathrooms. It's in the kitchen. Anywhere that I could use sort of black, I did, because it just works really well and it makes me happy. I've got a really big smile on my face right now. So yes, we're almost finished with the kitchen. I've got one pesky counter or island counter that isn't recoloring, so I do replace that off camera. Don't worry, I don't just have this rogue default swatch. You can see that now meshes. It now matches with all the other island counters, and we are on to the dining room area, which I feel like the dining room area is my favorite area downstairs. I like the whole open concept idea, because with a family as big as mamabearmumblr has, I think there's 7 of them in total. There's 3 teenagers, 2 twins, the mom and the dad, and I mean, if you count the cats, that's 9 family members that will be running around this sort of farmhouse. So I think an open plan works really well for that amount of Sims on one lot. It's just crazy. It's outrageous. But the great thing about what is it called? I'm looking at it right now. Window seat, there it is. The great thing about the window seat is that the cats can sit on it, and all the rest of the family can sit on it as well. I play tested the bejesus out of this house. So the window seat works. I was having trouble with the entryway seating. That now works. I was having trouble with the chess table. That now works. And I believe if mamabearmumblr were to go and look, she would find that there was a home-cooked meal in the refrigerator. So I tested out the stove, and that all works as well. But there's just something really nice and cute and lovely about this dining area. I like the china cabinet and sort of the credenza that I created. There was a lot of moo that went into that, but I just love this area so much. Like, look at that. That's just perfect, and it's cute. And it kind of takes me back to one of the questions I got when I did my interior top tips video about what to do with large spaces. Zone it out. So in this L-shaped large space, we've got the living room, we've got the dining room, and we've got the kitchen, and they're zoned out by rugs, but you can clearly see 3 separate defined spaces in one larger space, and it makes sense, and it flows really, really well and really, really nicely. And you'll see again when we pop all the way up to the 3rd floor that the 3rd floor bedroom for the boys is massive, but it's zoned out properly, and you can see that there's loads of fun things that I was able to put into that bedroom. But yes, this is the living room, and I love the bookshelves against that really dark shiplap. It looks black on camera, but it's actually a very, 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 very dark blue. So I've been into my dark blues, and navy, and I don't know, I really like the contrast between the white walls that's around the rest of the open plan room and this really, really dark shiplap as a feature wall, which it's also on the dining room wall as well. And then I have used an abundance of cow print. I think that armchair is the first siding that you're going to see, but it is everywhere. And I don't know if that's a bit sadistic because the Andrews do have cows, but I'm really into cow print right now. So I've splashed it about in probably every home that I've worked on recently. It was definitely in the Shell Challenge home. It's in this home. And I'm pretty sure when I get to the Shearwater that I will put it in that home as well. And if I end up doing sort of a Christmassy farmhouse, I'll put it in that home too. I don't know. There's just something about cow print that just works for me. So here we are in the office. And again, this is going to change a little bit when we get to the screenshots because my Sims were having issues getting to the chess table. I removed the armchair and I actually end up putting that in the in-law suite. So it's just going to be slightly different, but all the things that you should need for an office are there for the Andrews family to play with. Got a chess table, the easel stays, you've got the bookshelf, you've got a computer, and it's just a really nice sort of cozy space. This whole farmhouse just gives me cozy vibes. The barn, the additional floor that I did in the barn, which I'm going to redub the Rumpus Room, that's really cozy as well. I know you don't see it on camera, but in the barn, I've got a pool table, a ping pong table. There is not a half fridge, what's it called? It's not a beer fridge. You can get food out of it, but it's that fridge that came with University Life. That's in there. And then I created like a bunkhouse. So there is bunk beds in there. There's a bathroom in there. And then there's also facilities for laundry. So it's kind of a cool like hangout space for all the kids to just go and chill when they're not working on the farm. So here we are in the nursery, and I think the nursery is one of my favorite rooms that I have done upstairs. It is white, yellow, and gray. That was the color scheme that I went for. And you can see Jeffrey the giraffe is now securely placed on top of the bookshelf. And it is, it's just a cute room, and I don't usually put all white on the walls. I feel like sometimes that can come across as really sterile, but in this instance, I think it works. And the shape of the nursery has changed a little bit. Beforehand, it was probably, not half the size. I could fit 2 cribs in there, but I definitely couldn't fit in the changing table. I don't think I had the bookshelf in there. I'll see if I can find a screenshot of what it originally looked like, and I'll pop it on screen because the sort of upstairs layout has changed a lot. I went through a few different iterations. I think the girls' room was smaller than it is now. The boys' room was definitely smaller. But what happened is when I moved the house out from the edge of the lot, it created an opportunity for me to create more space. So that's what I did. So this entire sort of half of the house, the the nursery all the way forward to the girls' room, that's where that 3rd story comes into play. And originally when I first did it, I didn't have that 3rd story addition. I had originally built the 3rd story under the existing roof line, but then it just didn't work with the stairs. They were giving me problems, so I decided to sort of start over. Not bulldoze, because there's no way that I could have built this on my own, but I did start from scratch. And so the girls got a bigger bedroom, the boys got a massive space, the nursery became larger, and I think everything else sort of stayed in its place on the second and third levels. But like I said, I'll see if I can find some screenshots and pop up on screen what things originally looked like, and you can kind of see the difference to what you're going to see at the end. So here's the girls' room. We have got Darlene on the right because she likes pink, and we've got Kendra on the left because she likes purple. And I tried to really take into account the things that the girls love to do. So I think I achieved what I set out to do when I was decorating the room, and I really just love how the pink and purple comes together. Those are two of they're not my favorite colors. I do enjoy a bit of purple, but pink is just definitely not my jam, but I really like how the two colors combine in this space. And you know, if I had a sister that was close in age when I was growing up and we shared a room, I would love this type of room. And we've got a stereo in here, and we can have dance parties. I'd never leave my room if my room was this big and it was nice and I had my own side to the room. I would love it. So we're finishing off the girls' room in terms of recoloring, and then we're gonna pop over to the mom and dad's room, and then we're gonna pop up to the third level, and then we're finished. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. So if you are still here, almost 36 minutes into this video, thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it. We've probably got about 6 minutes left in the video portion, and then we are going to pop to a load of screenshots. I have got to show you all the befores and afters for the main house, what I did in the barn, the in-law suite, the outside spaces. I also created a really cool greenhouse behind the in-law suite, so that will get a feature. There's going to be lots of overviews, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Pause the video if you need to. Go and get a hot drink. Go and get extra cozy, maybe some popcorn, whatever you like, because yeah, we're coming up to the end of this, and I am so happy with how this turned out. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. I know I said this earlier, but any videos that you want to see in 2023, let me know down below. Ooh, and before I forget, let's just rewind a little bit and let's talk about the Christmas spirit and getting into the Christmas mood. So when I spent 5 hours wrapping presents last Sunday, I was watching Christmas films, and of course I started with Christmas Vacation because it is my absolute favorite Christmas film. There is no other Christmas film that will top that for me ever.
You serious, Clark?
And then I watched Daddy's Home 2, which is a fantastic film. I absolutely love that film. It has me belly laughing, has me close to tears. It's just brilliant. And I would go as far as saying it's one of my favorite Will Ferrell films. I'm actually not a huge fan of Will Ferrell, and for the longest time I said that his best film was Wedding Crashers, where he had a very bit part, and then I saw Step Brothers and I was like, all right, this guy's kind of funny. So I wanted to give Will Ferrell another holiday chance. So what did I do? I went and I watched Elf. Now this is controversial. I didn't like it at all. I just thought, I don't even know what I thought. I just didn't like the film. I know so many people bang on about how brilliant the film is, and I'm over here like, nah, it's not for me. So sorry if I burst your holiday bubble. I don't like Elf. I'm just gonna go out there on the record and say it. But let me know down below in the comments what your guys' favorite Christmas films are, and if you guys watch certain Christmas films every Christmas or holiday season. And if you have a home that you would like me to fix up, all you have to do is send me a message and say, Plum, fix me up, as well as send me the house file and tell me a little bit about the family who resides there. So it could be a current household that you're playing, it could be a legacy style challenge, a 100 baby challenge. But let me know what your aim is, what you're wanting to achieve, any issues you have with the current house that you're playing in, and anything that you would like me to focus on. If we could please not send any lots that are 64 by 64, I would greatly appreciate it. As much as I loved doing this, it was a huge undertaking. It was so massive. So if we could keep lots to 50 by 50 and under, I would really, really love you forever and a day. Because yeah, 64 by 64, I don't think my poor little Feeny can handle that anymore. She is getting up in age. She's about 7 years old, and it may be time to replace her. But don't say that too loud or she may just stop working. But yes, tell me as much about the family as you possibly can. Tell me what packs you've got. Tell me if there's any store content that you'd like me to use. Please, if we could also not use custom content. I know I've used cake noodles floors and windows in this build, but I think that's all the custom content that I want in my game. So if you're going to send me a house that has CC, make sure to remove the CC before you send it to me. Okay, thanks, bye. I would love that. But I want to see, like I said, this isn't going to be a regular series. It's just kind of as and when I get a message that says, Plum, fix me up. And we will see what comes through my inbox and what I can share with you guys. And you'll have to be super patient with me because you guys know that I'm an indecisive sloth. I am slow as anything. And so it could take me some time to get to it. But I really just want to give this a go because I really, really enjoyed doing this. So here we are in the boys level. It is massive, but again, I feel like it's zoned properly. You've got sort of this sleeping area, but you do also have like a gaming console in the center. And then you've got another area that's kind of more fun activities. There is a gaming console, there's a television, there is a pull-up bar for the teenager who is athletic. And so I feel like I fit it all in this massive space, and it makes sense and it works, but I'm rambling, so I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna love you and leave you guys with some music for the rest of the video. But if you enjoyed this, make sure to do all those cool interweb things, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you've got that bell a ding dong to be notified whenever I do upload. But for now, I'm gonna skedaddle. Don't be a plum stranger now, guys. Happy holidays!